This is weird.
Why? Yes.
Hold on. Talk, Anna.
I'm talking.
Okay, now I can hear you. So I have two screens. You're over here, but I'm over here. So I'm like, where do I look? But
Got it.
I don't really need to see myself over here though. I should just minimize that.
Yeah, there's it's interesting with everybody, doing everything by Zoom now. There's some research out that's talking about how seeing ourselves on screen is causing anxiety and stress, because when we talk to each other, we don't usually see ourselves, right? We see the other person.
Definitely weird.
It's very strange. Hi, Mike.
You're muted.
You're muted.
What's causing stress?
Seeing yourself on screen.
Which thing?
I look at the mirror every day. I mean, that doesn't cause me stress.
Yeah, but I don't know, like teaching a class and, seeing, when you teach a class, you don't see yourself teach the class for the whole class.
Mm-hmm.
It's very different.
Yeah. So that Annie Ruberty is on again.
Who's that?
We don't know.
Did you see Carol wants somebody to send her the link?
No, I didn't see that. I will send her the link.
It's on the website.
I see that now.
It's on the website and the agenda.
I could tell her that. I'll send it to her.
Jerry and Jim and that Annie person. But I'm wondering if that's
somebody's spouse?
No, you're not on. It was in the wrong waiting room. Sally, you're not in my waiting room. Sally goes, I'm in the waiting room.
So I can't.
I took it right off the agenda.
That's how I got in too. We got to start using Google Calendar, and then these things will just be in our email, in our calendar, and you just pop up the link.
Did you like my face? I have too many calendars to keep track of right now.
I know the feeling.
And it's just about to get worse. Yeah, Sally, I still don't. Oh my gosh. I see you. I'm new at this.
Being new at something gives you, gives you a minute of grace, right?
Who else?
Howdy.
Good to see you.
Hi.
Okay,
Hi.
here's Sally.
Who else?
Sally's coming in. So Jerry, can I let Jerry in?
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Why not?
Let them all in.
So
This is once.
Jim Sanema, that Annie person, Josh,
Yep.
Ellis, and Garden Share.
That would be Carol.
That's Carol, yeah.
Okay, I'll let Carol in as Garden Share then. I should rename her.
The idea was to do this in public anyways.
Carol, I'm renaming you.
You're muted.
Yeah, I see that. Thank you. I couldn't find the link and get out of my Garden Share Zoom at this booth. But the interesting thing is they're in a meeting now. Oh, I guess, yeah, okay. Well, if I get dumped out, I'll become myself. And
Can I?
It says it's you.
Let them all in?
Yeah, do you want me to let them all in?
Yeah.
all of who?
Here you are, Sally.
Hey, Sally.
Jerry, is the sun shining where you are?
It is, which is why the screen is down.
Sun shining here too, but probably not quite as warm as where you are.
It's
It's
really
pretty warm. It's pretty warm here.
Hi, Jim.
Hey,
Oh, he's got a nice glow off the top of his head.
Hi.
He's muted.
If I go in the dark, it's because my light goes off and it's a motion sensor. I'm behind a 4-foot piece of plexiglass and I'm not going to be able to make it come back on. So I apologize in advance if it happens. You'll see my shadow.
That's okay.
Hi, Adam and Ellis.
Y'all ready to get going on this, or?
I'm ready.
Okay. Are you ready, Kara? Got it recording. Okay. Well, we'll call this meeting to order. Special meeting to address an item that we believe is important to address as quickly as possible. And the item that's on the agenda is to discuss and take action on the purchase of police body cameras. I'll preface this by saying that in my note to all of you, Jim and I have spoke about this many times. And then in light of all the things that have gone on here over the past few months, and even, a letter that I received from a resident. I don't think she's a resident in this community, but she approached me after one of the events in the park. We started looking at it closer, and then we took this all to the police committee, Beth Larrabee and Anna Sorensen, and spent some time looking at this and thinking about it. And we believe it fits right in with what we're trying to accomplish with the review of our police operations. We're looking to be more transparent, more accountable, and add that to the fact that I think our police officers are really interested in this type of protection for them. I think we have a good group of people, a good group of officers that are working hard to do the right thing. And I think they view this as a help to them as they work in the community. So with that being said, I did send it on to all of you the details of the state contract pricing on equipment for you to review. Beth and Anna have taken a very close look at it and understand it. They're willing to make a recommendation that we move forward, and that's how we got to this meeting. So, Beth, Anna, anything to add to my comments and the emails that went out that we talked about, this type of thing? And I should add before you go on, Jim and I have also talked about policy and procedure, and that'll be a piece that will be developed as we move forward in this program. But getting started is going to require us to authorize purchase of equipment that will take a little bit of time to get here. So that'll give Jim, his staff, and our committee, police committee, a chance to ultimately look at the policy and procedure that will go along with this.
Mhm.
Beth, anything to add?
I think this is a positive move. I think it will, strengthen community relations and transparency and trust. And I think I'm in full support of doing this and moving forward.
I know Anna has spent quite a bit of time doing some research, and as I would have expected. Anna, anything you would like to add to the conversation here today?
Well, I would just say that based on, my review of some of the literature with respect to the efficacy and benefits of body cams, that, what Beth just said about transparency and so forth really does seem to be borne out in the evidence. It is hard to make causal arguments because there's lots of factors that go into any kind of, incident. So it's hard to know. exactly, but the evidence does suggest that that body cams actually increase a community's willingness to make reports to the police, that body cams reduce complaints. There is also some evidence that the presence of body cams reduces some what are called extreme incidents, that they are more likely to sort of, one of the things that we know with respect to implicit bias is that, you know, when we are forced to like think for a second about our bias, that gives us the chance to act appropriately, right? And so there is some evidence that cameras may also do that. There doesn't seem to be any evidence that having body cams reduces the, you know, an officer's willingness to go about doing their job, right? Like there doesn't seem to be any reduction in the work as a result of this. And police perceptions, it's really interesting. There's a lot of literature on how officers feel about it. And it does really seem that this is something that many officers see very favorably as being a tool to improve citizens' behavior, improve their own and their fellow officers' behavior, and to generally, you know, increase that trust and transparency within a community. So all in all, I think the evidence, you know, again, there's many factors that go into, like, this in and of itself isn't going to be like, okay, ta-da, everything's solved, right? But it does really, for me, it led me to believe that this is something that would be really useful. And also knowing from Chief that this is something that our officers would like to have. I mean, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't do this.
Yeah, officers really do, you know, appreciate the opportunity to have them. And I think that we should move forward and help them with that.
Tim, anything you'd like to add to the conversation? You got to unmute yourself.
No.
Muted.
It's funny because that doesn't look muted.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Mm.
He might not have the audio on.
Go down to your microphone, Jim, right, at least down in the bottom left-hand corner, and go to the upper caret, the up caret next to the microphone, and be sure you have, I think, computer audio or built-in output or something like that clicked on, built-in.
Mine says microphone monitor webcam.
Did I do
That's
it?
helpful.
Yeah.
Yes.
That got it.
Uh-oh, not now.
Now you're not.
No, I'm not?
Oh, no, you are.
You're
You just have
good.
to speak louder.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Or you got to sit closer.
I'll sit closer. Makes me a little uglier, but I'll do my best. No, I just want to thank the police committee and the mayor for all the conversations and being willing to put the time forward to, you know, really think about this and not just say, oh, we need body cameras and just do it. You know, there's actually been a thought process involved, and really appreciate it. I appreciate the fact that the officers themselves have been asking for this. We just had an incident last night with a local student. Wasn't really a big deal, but just their poor attitude towards the officer. The officers came in the morning and said, we would have really liked to have had that. Just would have made things a little bit easier and helped solidify the case. But it was a very minor issue, so not a big deal. But no, I just think that this is a really good tool. It's not going to be solving every solution. It's not going to hit every, you know, it's not going to hit everything, but it's going to do a good job. I think it's going to check a big box towards our efforts towards police reform and show that we're trying to do our best and that we don't feel like we have anything to hide. So let's do it. Absolutely. So thank you, everyone.
Any questions, Carol, Klaus?
I have one question. I really appreciate the time and effort that's been put into this. I appreciate the the initiative that was taken. Just for the record, mostly for Adam and Ellis to be consistent, I think our police committee is really our public safety committee. And I think it's important for it to be recorded as that because it is more than police. I think Mike just in this context refers to it as that. But I think it's a great committee and they're doing a lot and have a lot of oversight. So I just like to offer that clarification. I'm like this, as you might imagine, is not in my wheelhouse. So can you explain to me what the redactive software is? I mean, I know what it sounds like, but.
So basically, we have to be able to, if you have, for instance, we go to a rape scene, you know, there may be an instance where we have to, or a better example would be if we have to deal with someone and there's some young children that are there. Certainly we don't need to include the children in the video that's released for everybody to see. The DA's office and the defendants, everybody would get the unedited, unredacted version of it. So that's not going to be the case. But if it's something that we need to kick out to the media or even to certain other people for whatever reason, we're not going to include video of a young child that maybe have nothing to do with it, that you know, no one's going to want their kids, just for one example. So there are times when that would be appropriate.
So that's something that's housed in the station or whatever. It's not connected with each body camera.
And there's even a way that if we are trying to look at one particular person, say there's a scene, say in front of, there's a big party that happens to be video footage and there's many, many people, we can actually make it so that the person that we're trying to watch, they're the only one that's as they move around, are the only one that's a clear view, I guess. That's what the sales rep told me. So I don't know how that works, but it sounds kind of neat.
That sounds handy.
To Anna's point of making people behave better.
Yeah.
Well, really, I appreciate the work on this, and I think that the efforts going forward on the police reform on executive order 203, this is a huge step and shows that we really are, as you say, Jim, wanting to do well and do right. So thank you all, and I am very supportive.
Carol, I just want to add on the software piece that redactive software is part of the whole software package that's required for logging in and recording, you know, all of this. It's the redactive piece is part of it, but software is required for it to be downloaded to where it's kept. And it's secure in the way that you cannot edit anything in there without there being a trail that it was edited.
Oh, interesting.
So
But we would always have a raw copy anyway, because if we needed to use it for, you know, the DA's office, we need to do that, right? Yeah, so there's always a raw copy.
The policy and procedure piece, Anna and Beth, you'll be involved in reviewing as that gets put together. Get an understanding of how that works.
So from what I understand, Jim, once we put an order in, there's like a 6-week wait time for it, correct? And that's
what the sales rep told me. He said it would be in the 6-week range. And I don't know if that's changing with, I'm assuming more agencies are going to be doing the same thing. So I don't know if that's going to be plus or minus, but that's what he said roughly. And that includes some training too.
okay, but that'll give us time to think about a bunch of these prep issues.
Yes.
Great. I
would have to imagine that the policy, you know, the procedures and policies, that's a wheel that doesn't need to be invented.
Correct. I have access, there's a chief's website that I can go to and I can look at some other examples of policies related to many things. And this is one, and I have a couple that have some really nice things that I like in there. Another thing to mention too is Potsdam PD and SUNY Canton PD both use this exact company for theirs, and they both really like them both. They both like these companies. So got some people I can talk to locally if I have questions.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Sounds like a win-win to me. Appreciate all the work on it, you guys.
Thank you. Well, it was important for us to do this in a public meeting. We considered other options, and Anna and Beth were clear that they wanted to do it in this way. So this is why we took some of your time on a Friday afternoon. Anna, you wanted to say something else?
Yeah, I just also wanted to speak to the cost of this and how we are paying for this, because we are in a time of fiscal stress, and I didn't want to just, like, we're spending this money, right? And so the mayor, when you came to us, this is already essentially going to be paid for from funds that were already allocated in the previous year, as well as money that we have saved because of our going to the leasing program. So I just kind of wanted to say that, because we are, of course, also thinking about the fiscal context as well.
Well, and I think that we appreciate the insight in terms of how we could be creative with the funding, especially given the leasing, the new leasing procedure we're going to use. So that's definitely appreciated too.
Well, I'd like to be able to tell everyone how we're going to pay for something when we're looking to do something outside of the normal budgetary process.
Mm-hmm.
And this is part of that process, but how I find the funds, or Sally finds the funds for this, is an important component. So,
yeah. So thanks to Sally too.
well, she had a hand in this.
Well, it may save us money down the road.
Oh, and that too.
It's a good insurance plan.
It is.
Okay, are there any other comments or questions? Someone from the Public Safety Committee willing to put forth a motion?
You can go ahead, Anna, if you want.
Okay, well, I make a motion that we proceed, and I don't know how much wording you need for this, so just tell me when to stop, but proceed and purchase these body cams and the software that are part of this proposal that you sent us. What else do you need to know?
That's all you need to know.
And I would love to second it. Thanks for articulating, Anna.
Is there
You got me
any,
Friday afternoon. That's a good tough call too.
is there any further discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Hi.
Are there any opposed? There being none, the motion passes. I thank you for joining us, everyone. Adam and Ellis, especially. Is there any need for executive session that was on the agenda? I have nothing. There being-
Oh, executive session on the agenda and we can go in? I got nothing.
Okay. Well,
Actually, nah. I mean, is it worth having any employment update, Mike? Anything as far as our recreation director being done in 9 minutes, or are we good with that?
if you have anything that you want to share with me or with the rest of the board in that regard, we can go into
Beth?
a session.
I think we're probably no real news now unless anybody would like an update. Okay.
Doesn't seem like anybody's excited about the executive session.
All right.
Taylor Park's covered. We're good to go there until through Monday. We're good.
Yep.
The sun is shining. That could be the executive
We're
order for
good till
everybody.
Monday. That's the best I can say.
Okay, then I'll take a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Carol,
Second.
Klaus, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed?
Bye all. Have a really nice weekend.
Everybody-
Thanks, everyone.
Listen,
Be
Have a
safe.
good one.
this is great. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.